Welcome back to This Week in Disc Golf, where we take a look at everything disc golf that happened in the past week. Our first story for today is Disc Golf Network raising their rates to $8.99 a month. If you are a PDGA member, that you do get a 50% discount, which is billed as one of those things that's a PDGA benefit for you. But this year they are covering all National Tour events live, as well as Pro Worlds in Ogden, Utah, and the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship. They are doing all of that live. All the next day coverage is going to be split up between Jomez Pro, Central Coast Disc Golf, Gatekeeper Media, and GK Pro as far as whatever card you're wanting to watch. But that is a little bit of an increase, although it is offset by the fact that if you have a PDGA membership, you do get 50% off. But it is something to keep tabs on if you are somebody who really wants to keep up with disc golf scores and disc golf coverage as it happens live. For my second story today, we're going to talk about the Disc Golf Ultiworld World Rankings. So they produced a end of the season 2020 ranking for FPO and MPO, and we're just going to kind of run through some of these, see if there's any surprises, and see what we can decide from it. I'm not going to talk about how they determine the rankings because I will link Disc Golf Ultiworld's rankings on here so you can see the full rankings. I'm only going to go through 1 through 20, and then you can also see how they went about that. But on the FPO side, we have Paige Pierce, followed by Katrina Allen, Haley King, Sarah Hokum, Missy Gannon, Evelina Solanen, Heather Young, Helena Bloomroos, Jessica Weezy, and Ellen Woodboom. I don't see any real surprises there. I think Paige and Katrina are pretty much the class of the field in most cases. Moving on down the line at 11, we have Lisa Fakus, Vanessa Van Dyken, Kristen Tatar, Rebecca Cox, Jennifer Allen, Paige Shue, Callie McMorrin, Valerie Manduhano, Holly Finley, and Kona Panis. I am a little bit surprised that Paige Shue is down there, being a former world champion, but she also didn't have the best season last year. But that's our FPO world ranking side. On the MPO side, we have Kelvin Heimberg, Paul Macbeth, Ricky Wasaki, Eagle McMahon, Kevin Jones, Chris Dickerson, Nico Lacastro, Garrett Gerthy, Paul Ulibarri, and Austin Hannum. I think a lot of people would probably be pretty surprised to see Kelvin up there ahead of Ricky and Paul. But again, you can go over to Disc Golf Ultiworld and see how they manage that. It does kind of work in ranking as well as how they did in Elite Tour events and things like that. Moving on down the line, 11, we have Emerson Keith, James Conrad, Eric Oakley, Philo Braithwaite, Drew Gibson, Jeremy Colling, Vino McKella, Kyle Klein, Adam Hammis, and Noah Meintzma. So again, I don't think there's any real big surprises except for maybe Kelvin being put at the number 1 ranking there. But I think a lot of the other ones are where they should be, at least overall. I think once you get down past like a top 3 in any list, you end up with people who get a little bit hurt that, their person's not above somebody else or so on and so forth. But I think if you looked at a top 10 in any disc golf tournament on the national tour, those would probably be names that you would expect to see up on that top shelf. Alright, now we're going to talk about PDGA approved discs that have come onto the market in the past week. Our first one is the Ching's i1 made by Hyperflight. Its numbers are 4500 and it's billed as the disc that flies straight. They have a lot of marketing material about how straight and easy to aim and throw this disc is. They have an ACE challenge on their Ching's website that I will link up on the screen here, and if you get an ace, they have different prizes that you can achieve by being one of the first people to throw an ace with this disc and send it into their website. Our next disc is the Loft Discs Hydrogen with numbers of 1200, a very slow putter, but also marketed as the straightest putter on the market. Next, we're going to go to Divergent Discs that had 2 discs come onto the market this week. They have the Narwhal with numbers at 3500, another straight throwing putter speed disc, and the Leviathan with numbers of 5, 4, -3, and 0, designed, as they say, specifically for new and lower power throwers. Anybody with a decent speed arm is probably going to turn that over pretty quick. And lastly, this week, Dynamic Discs had 2 discs come onto the market. They have the Evader, which is a fairway speed disc with numbers of 7, 4, 0, and 2.5, and the EMAC Judge with numbers of 2, 4, 0, 1, which is a microbead putter designed by Eric McCabe. And that rounds out the discs that came onto the market this week. Our third story today is a pair of departures from the Innova team. Most notably would be James Conrad, the 2019 U.S. Disc Golf Champion, leaving Innova. Current destination currently unknown, so that's kind of a developing story that we'll have to definitely keep our eyes on. And secondly, Alexis Mandujano, the 2018 AM World's Champion, is going to also leave Innova to go to Discraft to start touring with Team Discraft this year. So we'll be able to kind of keep tabs on her as she goes throughout her 2020 season. Our last segment for this week is our Pro Spotlight. We're looking at another Wisconsin native, this time Adam Hammes from Minocqua, Wisconsin. He turned pro in 2015 and began playing full-time pro in 2016. He is currently a member of Team Discraft and has 21 career wins to his name, including notably the 2018 Silver Cup and most recently the 2020 Maricopa Open presented by Innova. Well, that should just about wrap up our news for this past week in disc golf. If you liked what you saw, please feel free to subscribe for more content and drop a like on the video. Have a great day, everybody.